In the quiet rhythm of existence, nothing is without pattern. Even the numbers that mark your arrival into this world carry a subtle whisper of direction. The last digit of your birth year is not merely a number, it is a symbol, a vibration, a gentle hint toward the path your wealth may follow. If your birth year ends in 0 or 1, your path is like flowing water. Wealth comes when you move, when you adapt, when you trust the journey rather than resist it. You are not meant to hold tightly, but to allow opportunities to pass through your hands like a river returning again, often greater than before. Your challenge is fear. When you release fear, abundance begins to flow. If it ends in 2 or 3, your path is rooted in connection. Wealth grows through relationships, through kindness, through shared effort. You are like a tree in a forest, strong not because you stand alone, but because you are part of something greater. Isolation blocks your prosperity, harmony invites it. If your digit is 4 or 5, your path is discipline and balance. Wealth comes slowly, like a mountain rising over time. You are asked to build, to stay steady, to respect effort, and patience is your obstacle. When you learn to honor small steps, great stability follows. If it ends in 6 or 7, your path is wisdom. Wealth comes not only in money, but in understanding. When you seek truth, when you refine your mind, opportunities align naturally, but attachment to comfort can trap you. Growth begins when you step beyond what feels easy. And if your digit is 8 or 9, your path is power and completion. You are meant to create, to lead, to transform. Wealth comes when you act with purpose beyond yourself. But ego is your shadow. When you act with humility, your path opens wide. Understand this. The number does not control you. It only reflects tendencies like the wind shaping a flame. You are still the one who chooses whether the flame flickers or burns bright. Wealth is not found in chasing, but in alignment. When your actions, your thoughts, and your inner nature move together, abundance is no longer something you seek, it becomes something you naturally attract. Listen not just to numbers, but to the silence within you. There, the true path has always been waiting. Your birth year's last digit symbolizes tendencies, not destiny. It offers a guiding pattern for your wealth path, but it does not control your life. You choose your life, your choices still matter most. The last digit of your birth year is often seen as something small, almost meaningless, a simple number at the end of a date. Yet when observed with stillness and awareness, even the smallest symbols can reveal quiet patterns about the way you move through life. This number does not define your destiny, nor does it hold power over your future in any fixed way. Instead, it reflects tendencies, subtle inclinations that shape how you think, act, and respond to opportunities, especially in the realm of wealth. Many people look outside themselves for answers, believing that success is controlled by luck, timing, or external conditions. But the deeper truth is that your path is shaped by your inner state. The number tied to your birth year simply mirrors certain qualities within you. It is like a gentle guide, pointing towards strengths you may naturally carry and weaknesses you may need to understand. Ignoring it does not harm you, and following it blindly will not save you. Balance is the key. When you begin to see this number as a reflection rather than a rule, something shifts. You stop asking what will happen to me and start asking how do I respond to what happens. This awareness is where true power lies. A person who understands their tendencies can act with clarity instead of confusion. They can recognize when fear is holding them back, when impatience is rushing their steps, or when ego is clouding their judgment. Without this awareness, even great opportunities can be lost. Wealth in its deepest sense is not something that suddenly appears. It is cultivated through consistent alignment between your inner nature and your outer actions. If your natural tendency is to flow and adapt, resisting change will create struggle. If your strength lies in connection, isolating yourself will limit your growth. Each pattern carries both a gift and a challenge, and the way you respond to it determines your outcome. It is important to remember that no number is better than another. There is no lucky or unlucky path. Every path contains the potential for abundance as well as difficulty. The difference is not in the number, but in your awareness of it. When you understand your tendencies, you begin to work with them instead of against them. In the end, the number is only a mirror. It shows you a glimpse of your nature, but it does not decide who you become. Wealth grows not from the number itself, but from the wisdom with which you live your life. Each number group reflects a unique wealth approach: 0 to 1, flow and adaptability 2 to 3, relationships and connection 4 to 5, discipline and patience 6 to 7, wisdom and inner growth 8 to 9, leadership and purpose. Inner obstacles block abundance. Fear, isolation, impatience, comfort, and ego are the main barriers tied to each path. Every path carries not only strength but also a shadow. These inner obstacles are often unseen, yet they quietly shape the direction of one's life more than any external condition. Wealth does not disappear because opportunity is absent. It fades when the mind is clouded by patterns that go unrecognized. To understand your path is not enough, you must also become aware of what blocks it. Fear is one such barrier. It does not always appear loudly. Sometimes it whispers as hesitation, doubt, or overthinking. It tells you to wait, to avoid risk, to stay where things feel certain. But in doing so, it closes the door to movement and growth. When fear is followed blindly, even the clearest opportunity begins to look dangerous. Wealth cannot grow where every step is held back by uncertainty. Isolation is another silent obstacle. A person may believe they are protecting themselves by staying alone, by trusting no one, by carrying everything on their own shoulders. Yet this separation limits the flow of ideas, support, and opportunity. Connection is not weakness, it is expansion. When the heart closes, the path narrows and growth becomes slow and strained. Impatience also disrupts the natural rhythm of progress. It creates the illusion that success must come quickly, that results should appear without time or effort. This restless energy leads to rushed decisions, unfinished work, and constant dissatisfaction. Like a seed pulled from the soil too early, growth is interrupted before it can take form. Wealth requires time, and time cannot be forced. Comfort too can become a hidden trap. It feels safe, familiar, and easy to remain where nothing challenges you. But in this stillness there is no expansion. When a person avoids discomfort, they also avoid the very experiences that lead to growth. What feels secure today may quietly limit tomorrow. And then there is ego, the desire to control, to prove, to rise above others. It creates distance between you and clarity. Decisions driven by ego often ignore wisdom, leading to imbalance and loss. True strength is not found in dominance, but in understanding. When these obstacles are seen clearly, they begin to lose their power. Awareness creates space, and within that space, choice becomes possible. The path to wealth is not blocked by the world, but by what remains unexamined within. Alignment attracts wealth naturally. When your thoughts, actions, and nature are in harmony, prosperity comes without force or struggle. Alignment is not something you chase, it is something you return to. When your thoughts, actions, and inner nature move in different directions, life begins to feel heavy and uncertain. You may work hard, yet see little result. You may seek opportunities, yet feel as though they slip away. This is not because wealth is distant, but because there is a quiet conflict within you. Where there is conflict, energy is scattered. Where energy is scattered, growth becomes weak. To come into alignment, you must first observe yourself without judgment. Notice how you think when faced with opportunity. Notice how you act when challenged. Notice whether your actions reflect your true nature or whether they are driven by fear, pressure, or imitation of others. Many people try to walk paths that do not belong to them, believing that success lies in copying what they see around them. But a path that is not yours will always feel forced, no matter how attractive it appears. When you begin to act in harmony with your natural tendencies, something shifts. Effort no longer feels like struggle, it becomes a steady, meaningful movement. Decisions become clearer because they arise from understanding rather than confusion. Even challenges begin to serve a purpose, guiding you rather than stopping you. This is the state where wealth begins to grow not as a sudden reward, but as a natural result of consistent, aligned action. Alignment also requires honesty. You must be willing to see where you are out of balance. Perhaps your thoughts are filled with doubt while your actions attempt confidence. Perhaps you are working toward goals that do not truly matter to you. These small misalignments create friction, and over time that friction leads to exhaustion. When you bring your inner world into agreement with your outer efforts, that friction fades. It is important to understand that alignment does not mean perfection. There will still be moments of uncertainty, moments of hesitation. But when you return to awareness, you correct your direction gently without force. Like a river finding its course, you adjust and continue. In this state, wealth is no longer something you chase with urgency. It becomes something that forms naturally through clarity, patience, and steady movement. When your mind is clear, your actions focused, and your nature understood, you no longer move against yourself. And when you stop moving against yourself, progress begins to unfold with quiet strength. True wealth is both material and spiritual. Money alone is not the goal. Understanding, balance, and inner peace are equally important parts of abundance. True wealth is often misunderstood because it is seen only through the lens of material gain. Money, possessions, and status are treated as the final destination, as if having more is the same as being fulfilled. Yet many who gather these things still feel restless, still feel something missing. This is because wealth in its complete form is not only what you hold in your hands, but what you carry within your mind and heart. Material wealth has its place. It provides comfort, security, and the ability to meet your needs. It can open doors and create opportunities. But when it becomes the only goal, it creates imbalance. The mind becomes attached, always seeking more, never satisfied with what is present. In this constant seeking, peace is lost. What you gain outwardly may grow, but inwardly there is a quiet emptiness that cannot be filled by accumulation alone. Inner wealth, on the other hand, is subtle but powerful. It is the clarity to make wise decisions, the patience to wait for the right moment, and the awareness to understand what truly matters. It is the ability to remain steady in both gain and loss, to not be shaken by temporary changes. This kind of wealth cannot be taken from you because it is not dependent on external conditions. When material and inner wealth come into balance, life begins to feel whole. Money is no longer a source of stress or identity, but a tool that supports your journey. You use it with intention rather than being controlled by it. At the same time, your inner state remains grounded, allowing you to experience contentment regardless of circumstances. Many people chase wealth thinking it will bring peace, but peace is what allows wealth to be used wisely. Without inner stability, even abundance can lead to confusion and poor choices. With inner stability, even small resources can be grown and managed with care. The deeper understanding is this: wealth is not measured only by what you have, but by how you live. A person who has clarity, balance, and purpose is already rich in a way that cannot be easily lost. When this inner richness guides your actions, material prosperity often follows naturally, not as a desperate pursuit, but as a quiet extension of a well-lived life.